Mason's gain formula we have already discussed. I'll just brief you out and then we go ahead with the problems. We have seen that in the previous class, Mason's gain formula is used to simplify the signal flow graph, and where you have the transfer function can be found out by using the equation summation of I is equal to 1 to n pi delta I divided by delta, and we have seen that n is the total number of forward path, pi is the path gain of ith forward path, and delta is determinant of the graph, and you have also delta I, the value of delta for SFJ non-touching loops of the so those things non-touching the ith for path is called as the delta I. So we'll see all these things in problem. We have started up the problem with this. Find the transfer function of C of S by R of S is equal to for this signal flow graph. So what I have told you before is you should be very careful while it's not like block diagram reduction. There you are going to reduce the things. Here you are not going to disturb the problem. You are just going to see that how many forward path is there, how many loops are there, how many non-touching loops are there. All these things is that what you are going to solve it here. So first problem you just solve along with me so that it will be convenient for you to understand, and if you have any queries or doubts you should clear it off. From second problem onwards you should try to do it by yourself and come out with the answer. So the steps remains the same, like first step will be to find out the, so all of you have written this problem, right? So all
Sir.
of you have written this problem, no, last class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we will continue further. So what we have seen here is, so you inform your friends to join. These are all very important things, and your attendance is coming down from last 2 days. I am observing. So make sure that you all of you attend. Otherwise, unnecessary problems for you. So so what you can see here is transfer function. You have to find out C of S by R of S using the signal flow graph. And first step is that you have to find out the forward path. So we have already seen that how to go ahead with the forward path. So in every problem, the steps remains the same. Only the this forward path, the loops and all will change. Okay, the method is same. So what you are going to go here with is the forward path. So when I take this problem, I can see that this is the only one forward path which is existing in this problem, because there is no other forward path possible, because the if you start from here and if you try to go this way, it's not possible, because the indication is towards the this side. This way also it's not possible, because the indication is towards this side. So forward path, you can see that the loop whichever we pass once, or sorry, the node whichever we pass once, it should not come again. So that is one very important thing about forward path which we should understand. So once we leave that place, like you are traveling from Majestic to in our college, you think if you leave Elehanka, you are not supposed to come back to Elehanka again and then again go to your college. So that should not be there. So once you leave the place, then it's like you should move forward. So that how many times you are having, how many forward paths are possible in that problem is what we should see here. In this problem, as you have understood in the previous class itself, the possibility of forward path is only one. So this is the only one forward path possible. So we have written that P1 is equal to G1, G2, G3, G4 and G5. G1, G2, G3, G4, G5. So next one, what we have to do is how many individual loops are possible. So you can just see that how many individual loops are possible here. Loop. many individual loops are possible?
4, sir.
4. You should say those loops. So it's like first loop I will tell it is G2 H minus H1. So it is minus G2 H1. So like that, you should tell all the 4 loops. Okay, tell me. First one I have told it is, you can say that. So G2 minus H1. So minus G2 H1 is the first loop. Second loop.
Minus H2 G4.
Minus H2 G4. Third loop.
Minus G7 H3.
Minus G7 H3. Fourth loop.
G6. G6 G8 G1.
Which one?
From G1 to G middle of G5, sir.
No, you should tell. Then only it can be considered as a loop, no, when you complete it entirely. Any one of you can try. Last loop. 3 loops already it is told. Minus first loop is minus G2 H1. Second loop is minus G4 H2. Third loop is minus G7 H3. What is the fourth loop? Say I want someone to try. Go for it. You know, no, if it starts from that point, it should end to that same point. So how it is? It's very simple. See, identifying the forward path and identifying the loop is only important here. Doing this problem is not that difficult. Okay, tell me, somebody was trying it out. Loop 4.
G2, G3, G4, G5, G6, G7, G8.
Yeah. So we will start from here G2, G3, G4, G5, G6, G7, and G8. Okay, let us see that. So G2, G3, G4, G5, G6, G7, and G8. So any one of you, whether you are having any doubts in these two steps, make it very clear, because further on you have to do the same thing again and again. So is there any doubt in finding out the forward path or finding out the loops? Any doubt is there for any one of you? If it is there, make it clear in the first problem itself. Second problem onwards, you can start solving the problem. Anyone is having any doubts in this? Is that clear? Clear for everyone? Say, respond to me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have understood two things, step 1 and step 2, that is forward path and loops. So forward path means once you leave the node, you should not come back to that node again. Here, only possibility is one forward path. Loop is like, it's a closed path. So you can, once you start here, it should end up here. Once you start here, it should end up here. Once you start from here, it should end up here. And this one is, once you start from here, this will end up here. So you should be very careful in identifying the loops. That is very important. And you should make sure that there is only one forward path and 4 loops possible. If these two steps you are clear with, the problem becomes very easy for you. Okay, so don't make any mistake in identifying the forward path as well as the loop, and don't be so much of hurry that yeah, I have found that some of the students will see 2-3 loops, and they will sometimes there will be 5 to 6 loops possible in that problem, but they see only 2 or 3 loops. Some of them see which is not there also, like there will be only 1 or 2 loops, but they will see that there are 5 to 6 loops. So this kind of mistakes, you don't do it. You should see that, see here, loop means what? You should carefully identify the arrow marks. You can see that you should carefully identify the arrow mark. For example, this loop, if I take, if I start from here, you can see the arrow mark. I reach here. You feel it. and then you come from this path and you come back to this point. So it makes a loop for you. If you take in this case, you have started from here, you complete this path, you come back again to the same point. So this is what it is going to what you have to understand. We have also studied self loops and all those things. You should be careful with respect to self loops and all. So you have to understand the terminologies properly. Okay. So this is a forward path and these are the loops. So everyone should be very clear. I am stressing it because these are the places where students make mistake and they identify in four loops, they identify only two loops or three loops and they make mistake. Okay. So now next step is non-touching loops. So how many of you can say that non-touching loops? So we have named each loop as L1, L2, L3 and L4. Now you should tell me that in this which is non-touching loops. So you can just say if you get it. Non-touching means what? I have already told you. Somebody say that don't touch me. So non-touching
No
means
common
what?
node, sir.
Yeah, which one?
Minus G7H3.
No, I am not just asking with respect to L1, L2, L3, L4. So these are the four loops. Non-touching means it should be within this four only. So you can name them, which is whether L1 and L2 is non-touching, L1 and L3 is non-touching, L1 and L4 is non-touching. Which one is non-touching loops? Okay, I take L1 with my L1 loop, which are all non-touching loops with this L1. With this L1. L1 and L2 is non-touching.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So like that you should tell. So L1 is this one. So it is not touching with L2. This is L1 and this is L2. How where it is touching with each other? It's not touching. So L1 and L2 is non-touching loops. Like that. L1 and L3 is non-touching this loop. Can you say that whether this loop and this loop, whether it is non-touching? L1 and L3. It's touching or not touching? Tell me whether L1 and L3 is touching or it's non-touching loops. Respond to me.
Non-touching, sir.
Yeah, so like that, how many? L1, L2, one combination, L1, L3, one combination, L1, L4, whether it is touching or non-touching.
Touching, sir.
Touching, sir.
So you should not use it because we are going with non-touching loops. Okay. L1, L2, one combination, L1, L3, one combination. So then further, one more is there.
L2, L3, sir.
L2, L3, sir.
L2, L3. So write down this step, step 3, non-touching loops. There are three combinations of non-touching loops. So write down these steps properly. There are three combinations of non-touching loops. Taken two at a time. Taken two at a time. So write these things L1, L2, L1, L3, L2, L3. And write it in this way. Now we have to see that two loops we have seen whether they are touching. Now we'll see three loops. See, this is the step which you have to follow. So take three loops together. So how many combinations is possible? Three loops together, how many combinations is possible?
One, sir.
One combination. So one combination, that is L1, L2 and L3, which is not touching with each other. So means non-touching with each other means they are not sharing the common node. So this is not sharing the common node, this is not sharing the common node with this one, this is not sharing the common nodes with the other two as well. So they are non-touching with each other. So they are not sharing the common node. So what you can say, you can say that L1, L2, L3 are non-touching loops, and you will get this. So there is only one combination of non-touching loops taken, three at a time. So see, the problem logic and problem solution is easy, but the probability of making a mistake is very high, because if you lose one loop, or if you lose one of the step somewhere here and there, so the mistake will happen. So you should be very careful that you should be careful in selecting the forward path. You should be careful in selecting the number of loops, non-touching loops. So first step is find out the loops. First step is forward path, then it is find out the loops. Then you have to see that two loops not touching with each other. Then you have to see that three loops not touching with each other. So till here it's clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us now go with the fifth step, that is determinant of the graph. We are going to find out the determinant of the graph, that is delta. So you have seen the equation in the Mason's gain formula. So we are going to use that equation. So first thing is that how this equation you have to write in terms of loops. You can see that if you go to the Mason's gain formula, you have written that what you have written for delta. Delta you have written 1 minus summation of loop gain. Then summation of non-touching loops gain taken 2 at a time. Then summation of non-touching loops taken 3 at a time. So till there you have to write it. So what you can write summation of, so that's why we have written 1 minus loops. So it is L1, L2, L3 and L4 is there in this problem, plus summation of loops, non-touching loops taken 2 at a time. So L1 and L2, then L1 and L3 and L2 and L3. So that also we wrote, and minus L1, L2, L3 taken 3 at a time. So this is what you will get the equation for delta. So we need delta I as well. So we have to find delta I. So we'll see. So understand these things carefully. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask this first problem. Second problem onwards, the methodology will be the same. The problem will change. That's it. So you can try to solve it. So here you try to understand. So what is the sixth step is to find out delta I. So now we are going to see till 5, step 5, it's clear for everyone, right? Till step 5 to find out delta. It's clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So to find out delta I, so let us see that how to do delta I. So you listen carefully to find out delta I, as there is only one forward path here. How many forward path is there? One forward path. So here you can see that here only one forward path is available. So since here only one forward path is available, the I will be 1. If it was two forward path was available, I will be 2. If three forward path was available, I will be 3. So here only one forward path is available. So I is 1. As there is only one forward path, I is equal to 1. So we have only delta 1. Otherwise, we would have had further delta 1, delta 2 and all those things. So here only delta 1 is there. So the delta 1 is found by eliminating the loop gain that touch the first forward path. So listen carefully this, understand this, read 2-3 times. Read this carefully. Read the sentence carefully. The delta 1 is found by eliminating the loop gain that touched the first forward path. So we are bothered about the first forward path, and any loop touching the first forward path, we are going to eliminate it. So the delta 1 is found by eliminating the loop gain. We are going to eliminate the loop gain that will touch the first forward path. So first forward path is what? This is the path, and the loop gain which touched the that first forward path, we are going to eliminate. So this is the forward path, and the loop gain whichever touched the first forward path, we are going to eliminate. So all this L1 will get eliminated, L2 will get eliminated, L4 will get eliminated. Only thing is that you will be left out with this one, which is not touching this forward path. Okay, so see that carefully. So how you have to do with it, is that clear? Understand this line carefully. The delta 1 is found by eliminating the loop gain that touched the first forward path. Understand this carefully. So what we are going to see here, we have this equation for delta. So we are going to write delta 1. Delta 1 means we are going to eliminate whichever is touching to that forward path. So we have a you might have understood by this time. So what it is, this loop is in contact with the forward path, remove it off. This loop is in contact with the forward path, remove it off. This loop is in contact with the forward path, remove it off. So only left out is this loop, which is not having any contacts with the forward path. So I am going to write in this way. So I am going to rewrite this delta as delta 1. So I told you, if one forward path is there, I will become 1. Two forward path is there, I will become 2. And three forward path is there, I will become 3. Okay. So first here only one forward path is there. So I have taken 1. So I wrote it as delta 1. Use this equation and to simplify this. So delta 1 is there. So 1 minus this loop, it is touching to the forward path, becomes 0. This loop touching to the forward path becomes 0. This loop not touching to the forward path, retain the same. This loop touching to the forward path will become 0. Since L3, if you see L3 is in combination with L1, so the entire thing becomes 0. L3 is in combination with L2, so the entire thing becomes 0. L3 is in combination with L1 and L2, so the entire thing becomes 0. So here you will be left out with 1 minus L3. So delta 1, you have to substitute L3. So delta 1 will be 1 plus G7H3. Sorry, G7 only, no? Yeah, it is G7. G7H3 minus G7H3, you substitute there. So what you will get? 1 plus G7H3. So understand this carefully. It's very important. But here students won't make mistake because they understand these things and they do it. But the identification of loops and the identification of forward path is what they make mistake. So delta 1 is clear for all of you? All of you got
Yes.
1 plus G7H3?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's very simple. So you should take the forward path. So here it is only one forward path. So it is I is equal to 1. So we will see that when two forward paths are there, no, you have to take delta 1 also will be there. You will be doing with the first forward path, and delta 2 will be there, which you should do with the second forward path. If 3 is there, means delta 3 you have to do with the third forward path. So like that. So here you have only one forward path. So only delta 1 is required for you. So it is 1 plus G7H3. Till here any doubts is there for you? If it is clear till here, then our problem is almost done. There is no much difficulties further. Is there any till step 6 it is clear for all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let us use the Mason's gain formula and substitute it and simplify it. So let us see that Mason's gain formula is C of S by R of S, that is P1, because we are not going to use summation here, directly we are going to use the substitution. So here only one forward path is there, so P1 delta 1 by delta. If there was combinations of forward path, P1, P2, P3 and all, means you would have further had a summation thing and you should have written plus 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 like that. Okay, so here only one combination of forward path, so P1 divided by delta 1 by delta. Just substitute it. Substitute P1. P1 is what? G1, G2, G3, G4, G5. Delta 1 you got 1 plus G7, H3, and delta also you got. Delta is already here. Delta is this one. So you need to substitute that. Substitute for L1, L2, L3, L4, L1, L2, L, all those things you substitute it. So everything will come in the denominator. So this is easy. Once you solve it, you can simplify it further. You will get something like this. Till here, you will get these two steps. You can do that. So all of you do this first problem. Once you complete it, you just let me know that these two steps, it will wind up the problem. So this will be the final answer. Once you complete it, we'll go ahead with the next problem where you are going to tell me everything. How many forward path is there? How many loops are there? How you are going to solve it? The steps will remain the same. Only the problem will change. Okay. So all of you write it and find out the transfer function C of S by R of S. It's clear for all of you and you have completed, means once let me know that. So we'll continue further with the second problem. So all of you submit your assignments and get used to MS Teams. You have any problems with your mail IDs and all, get it rectified before another 1 or 2 days time. Meet your means discuss with your class teacher and get it rectified. Okay. Some of you have still joined with as guest and all. So those things are not going to happen in internal examination. So you have to make sure that you make your mail IDs clear and then you can join for the internal examination. So all of you should these things please maintain when you're writing the internals. All of you should write the examination in A4 sheet and please put page numbers in the examination sheet. Okay, because sometimes you shuffle the sheets, it becomes really difficult for us to do the correction. So put the page number 1, 2, 3 and one more thing, you will be having five, so two questions, part A and part B. So you will be having one question ABC or two second question ABC. Then it is part B will be third question AB and fourth question AB. So it all will be 10 marks question. So you can go for it. So if you study properly, you can solve it. Otherwise, you will find difficulty when you are writing the papers, and also make sure that you do the things properly. This is how the pattern of the question paper will be, and you should study whatever we have solved and whatever we have done in assignments, everything. So you have completed this problem. Any doubt is there? It's clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes,
you
sir.
can just start with the second problem. So let us see that how many of you identify the forward path and gain and this one loops and all those things in this problem. So write down find C of S by R of S using Mason's gain formula for signal flow graph. This one. All of you write this problem. So all of you draw this problem, and while drawing the problem, be careful. Arrow marks, minus sign, nodes, gain, everything. Like you should, when some of the students just don't take it very seriously, they don't write G1, G2, G3, G4, and G5 properly. You will be getting the answer, but it will be different. So we will, when we do the correction, all G1, G2, and all should be in the right places. Otherwise, you will not get the marks for that. Okay. If you write in place of G3 as G2 and all those things, you will miss marks for that. So should be serious enough while when you are doing with control system or the subjects like signals and system and all these things. You should not be just casual, and you cannot do that. Okay. So you should be careful and attempt the questions properly. So let us see that we will have to do the same steps, but the method will be you will be getting different gain, means different loops and here forward path. Let us see that. See, I will just keep it open for all of you. Whoever want can say the first step once you complete it. How many forward path is there is the first question to you. How many forward paths is available? Think properly and tell me. If you make mistake in the first step of identifying the forward path, that whatever 20 minutes you spend to solve this problem is entirely waste. Okay. So you should be careful, and practice is most required. Yeah, you have completed. You can just tell me how many forward paths is possible. How many forward path is possible?
Two, sir.
Two. You can just name those two forward path. I'm going to mark as and when you say it. Yeah. G1,
G1, G3, G4, G5, G6.
G1, G3, G4, G5, and G6. Okay. One more.
G1, G2.
G1, G2, G6. Okay. Two forward path. So let us solve it. So further loops. So two forward path P1 and P2. Okay. Then yeah, how many loops you have?
3, sir.
3 loops. You should name those 3 loops. First loop.
Minus G4 H1, sir.
Okay. Then next one. Next one. How you told 3?
G3, G4, G5 minus H2, sir.
Okay. Next one. Third one. Third one. Then only 2 is there or 3 is there? See, identifying the loops is very important. In just don't be in a hurry and make mistakes. You tell me that how many, it's just the second problem. Tell me that what is the third loop if it is there. Anyone of you got the third loop? Whether it is there or only 2 loops are there?
2, sir.
3 loops are there. Then tell me what is the third one?
G2, G5, G4, G3.
G2, G2,
G5, G4, G3.
you are not, you should see
Minus
this arrow mark.
G2
You
H2.
should see this arrow mark. You should not simply say all those things. It will go wrong. See the arrow mark.
Minus G.
Yeah. I will start from yeah. Tell me.
Minus G2 H2, sir.
Minus G2. This is the loop. Why so much of confusion? It is very straightforward and clear. Minus G2 and H2. So you should be very careful while identifying the loops. So L1 is minus G4 H1, L2 is minus G3, G4, G5 and H2, and L3 is minus G2 H2. So one thing I will say clearly to all of you is this arrow mark is very important. You can't, while coming from the loop, you can't go in this direction, not possible. If the arrow mark is in this direction, you should go in this direction only. Okay. So the 3 possibilities of the loops are this is the one loop, this is another loop, and this is the other loop. See the way I am going with the arrow mark. So if I go here with this arrow mark, reach here, if I have to come, I cannot go in this route, not possible. Like it's like a one way, you imagine. How can you go to this route? All the vehicles are coming from this side. You should take this path only. It becomes easy for you to understand. Okay. So that is what. So 3 loops are possible, L1, L2 and L3. What is next one? What is next one?
Non-touching loops.
Non-touching loops. So you just tell me that non-touching loops, third step. See, once you get non-touching loops, you just let me know. Have you done non-touching loops? Is there any non-touching loops here? Definitely it is there. I can see how many combinations you can see non-touching loops.
L1,
L1 and
L3.
L3. So let us see that. There is one combination of non-touching loop taken two at a time, that is L1 and L3. So this is only possible. So since there is no non-touching loops possible here, more than if you take 3 loops at a time, so you can just write down as a line, no 3 non-touching loops is possible. So no need to do that step. So further on, non-touching loops are not possible. Okay, so no 3 non-touching loops are possible. So what you have to write then, once all this non-touching part is over, then you have to go with the finding out determinant delta. So delta will be 1 minus L1, L2, L1 plus L2 plus L3 and this one non-touching loop plus L1, L3. So delta I, how many forward path is there? 2 forward path is there. I is equal to 2. So further you do it. So how many you will have? You will have delta 1 and delta 2. I think I will help you out in this matter. So you complete it till there. Last time you have seen I is equal to 1, you had delta 1. Here I is equal to 2, you will have two things, delta 1 and delta 2. So all of you complete it till here, then we will continue further. All of you have completed till there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you can solve it, you can solve, but since here 2 delta is there, I'll just explain you and then you can go ahead with that. So let us see. To find delta 1, as there is 2 forward path, you can see how many forward path is there? 2 forward path is there, P1 and P2. So since there is 2 forward path P1 and P2, so I will be equal to 2. So you got I is equal to 2 and so you'll be having delta 1 and delta 2. So this one, the delta 1 is found by eliminating the loop gain that touches the first forward path, that is P1. You should take P1. So here you should take P1. So path P1 you take. So this P1, which is that going to touch P1, you should eliminate those loops. So how many loops are possible? Whether L1 will touch.
Yes, sir.
So we will eliminate. L2 will touch.
Yes, sir. All the loops will be touching, sir.
So all the loops you eliminate. So what you will be getting? So all this L1 will become 0, L2 will become 0, and L3 will become 0, and this also will become 0. Finally, delta 1 will be equal to 1. So 1 minus 0, 1. So you got delta 1 is equal to 1. Okay. Next one is what? I is equal to 2. So you need to do for delta 2. You have to take not P1. You should, when you are doing for delta 2, you need to take P2. So take path P2. So let me know that when I take path P2, so I am going to take path P2. So whether you should tell me that L1 will touch P2. Path P2, which is that?
No,
Which is
sir.
that?
L1 will touch P2.
L1 will touch or not?
It won't touch, sir.
So it won't touch. So L2. What about L2? Whether it will touch path P2? Tell me. L2. Loop
Yes,
L2,
sir.
whether
Touches, sir.
L2 will touch path P2? See, no, the problem. See, it is G1, G2, G6. So here the loop is like this, means the forward path is this way, G1, G2 and G6. So which this loop will touch, whether this loop will touch, this loop is touching this path, yes or no? Except this loop, other loops are all touching to this path. Only this loop is not touching. Which is this loop?
L1, sir.
L1. So other than this, others are touching, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you told that L1 is not touching, L2 is touching to that. So I don't have to bother about L2. I will just leave this off, and L3 I will leave this off also. So this is what for your understanding. So what you will be getting here, L1 will be retained, L2 will become 0, L3 will become 0, and here since it is combination of L3, so this also will become 0. Only left out will be 1 minus L1. So let us see that 1 minus L1. Okay. So this is just drawn for your understanding, so that it will be helpful for you to find out that this loop is non-touching to the entire forward path. So it's clear for all of you. So you got delta 1 and delta 2. So we will now you can use the Mason's gain formula, that is this one, C of S by R of S is equal to P1 delta 1 plus P2 delta 2 divided by delta. You can solve it. Okay, we will continue it in the next class. Almost it is time. So all of you got delta 1 and delta 2, so you will get this much. I'll just you can substitute for P1, you can substitute for delta 1, you can substitute for P2, delta 2 and delta. The answer is this one. So all of you can complete it, and any doubts is there? It's clear for all of you? It's clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. Thank you. So you can join for the next class. We'll wind up here. Okay.